Well, it's a Friday afternoon and I'm about ready to clock off for the weekend, and I've made some progress with this Norton Navigator already. I've got the gears all working and selecting how they should, and I've also got the clutch pressure plate lifting and the lever at the handlebars operating as it should, since I backed the 3 screws off that had the pressure plate springs more or less fully wound in and coil bound. So I've dealt with that. And this, as we know, was up to about here with oil as well. I'm not going to put any oil in it until next week, because I'm going to get the oil tank off and wash that out, because there appears to be quite a bit of sludge in the bottom of that. But I am at a pretty good place to stop, and I just thought I'd discuss a few things about this bike. This one, as I say, is a Navigator 350. There were 3 bikes loosely based on, well, closely based on the same design actually. The 250 Jubilee was the smallest, obviously. Then you had this one, the 350 Navigator, and there was also a 400cc Electra, which had electric start, 12 volts and indicators even. And quite a lot of people don't seem to be able to sort of grasp what the differences might be, and you'll get asked questions like, say, about this one for instance, is that a Jubilee or a Navigator or what? And the easy ways to tell, and they're very easy ways to tell, are like this. The Navigator, as does the Electra, it has Norton road holder forks and the same front hub, brake plate and brake etc. as the Dominator models. So it's got the entire Norton front end of the period, if you like. The 250 Jubilee only had the Francis Barnett forks and front hub, because the frame is a Francis Barnett type frame, slightly modified to accept this engine, which I believe the 250, 350 and 400s were probably all interchangeable. They all bolted into the same sort of fittings and spaces and whatever. But the Jubilee had the Francis Barnett, the smaller hub front wheel and the Francis Barnett forks. The Navigator had the road holder front end, as did the Electra. The Navigator, which is what we got here, had the Francis Barnett rear hub. The Electra 400 had the Norton rear hub, and likewise the Jubilee 250 had the Francis Barnett hub. So if you got a Francis Barnett hub on the rear, Francis Barnett hub on the front, and Francis Barnett forks, it's a Jubilee 250. According to whether it's actually still got the 250 engine in it or whatever, of course, but that would be the Jubilee. The Navigator, Norton front forks, Norton front wheel, Francis Barnett rear wheel, and the Electra, like I say, Norton front forks, Norton front wheel, Norton rear wheel, and around on this side, what this one doesn't have, the Electra would also have a bump coming out of the primary drive side around about here to accept the electric starter motor that sat in that space there above the engine. So there's the basic differences of the 3 different models and how you can tell them apart. But this one is the middle model, the 350 Navigator.